but they throw certain narratives out there, and it could be completely untrue, but it's gonna stick because it was first. Like it's more of a race to be first rather than to be right.
Down. Down.
Yo, welcome into another episode of the BeBall podcast, featuring none other than the man himself, Nelson. Asking, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. How about yourself?
Man, I'm good. Every time we get a chance to record these podcast episodes, I'm doing good. I get excited to do these, man. So I can't complain.
Sure.
So, but I know, man, like when we started the podcast, man, like it was like a big thing for us, you feel me? Because we were excited to get our viewpoints off on a platform, but it's even more special because it's our own platform. I know for you wanted to get your Stephen A and your Shannon Sharp takes off and everything. Rep your boy Giannis like you get to. And then for me to get a chance to get my thoughts and ideas out on the platform, and it's dope for you. But I know for me personally, I don't really have anybody that I kind of look up to in the media game as far as journalists or reporters that I just be like, man, I see myself in them, you know what I mean? So I just feel like a lot of those guys up there are kind of like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of all of them, you know, and I feel like they kind of got a weird impact on the game from just me personally. That's how I feel. And
yeah, I kind of feel that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, how do you feel about how the media and stuff plays? Because that's a big reason why we got into the game. We wanted to give a different perspective on the game as a whole. But how do you feel like the media and even social media has an impact on the game today?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because like you said, Shannon Sharp, that's like my guy. Like love to death.
Yeah.
Watching all the time, YouTube, like even if I don't catch the real show, I'm watching on YouTube just to see what said today. Especially on something that I also want to know about, like whatever sport might be going on. So I think media does have like a huge impact on the game, especially in basketball of all things. I think media has a bigger impact. Might be a hot topic, maybe not. But I think media has a huge impact on basketball more than any other sport.
Yeah.
I feel like the media can dictate a lot when it comes to basketball. Like as far as like what other people think or like how someone is perceived or how they're viewed. And you know, like I feel like all athletes get affected by the media, but basketball, because it's so star driven, like one team can be based around one player. Like, you know, every team has a face of their team type thing. So the media has a lot to do with how that team and that player can be perceived, and like it just can change everything for you for the good or for the bad. Like some guys have one big media spill, like something bad happens, anything like that, and it's over. Like the media can kill their whole career. Or they could do something great or like just funny or amazing. And media see it and they run with it. It gets going everywhere. And all of a sudden they role model for some people, you know? So I feel like it has a huge take on it. But I think Shannon Sharp is like the guy that I look up to mostly because I feel like he's not lying. Like, not to say every member of the media lies, obviously, but like I feel like when he talks, like that's his voice. I feel like if I was to meet him on the street, he'll talk just like that, say these same things. And so that go a long way with me because I feel like I'm the same type of person. Like what you see with me is what you get. Like when you meet me, talk to me, like whatever going on, that's me all the time. So I feel like, you know, that's my guy. That's how I feel like I want to rock, especially like in this space what we got going. That's how I want to do everything. So like that's why I say I want to come up here and get my Shannon Sharp on, my Stephen A on. Like this how I want to be. How I talk to you on here, same way I talk to the fans. If anybody was to come up to me and be like, "Hey man, well, I ain't like this you said on the podcast." Well, sorry. That's my opinion. But what you think? How you feel about it?
I feel like it's a yin and yang to it. You know, it's nothing 100% good, nothing 100% bad. But I know for me overall, I think it's gotten to a point where either it's more bad than good, or more of the bad is publicized, which is what the media is. I feel like it's a lot of people. Skip Bayless is probably my least favorite. We had a conversation about this before. Like Skip Bayless is probably my least favorite, and
we all hate Skip.
what's his name? Nick. I can't remember his name.
Right.
Nick. What's your name?
Right.
Yeah, Nick Wright. I don't like either one of them, man. And I don't watch ESPN stuff that much anymore or Fox Sports just because it's like too many people on there don't understand the game. Like it's cool that you understand sports. It's cool that you went to school, got this degree, all this stuff. But it's like your takes on what this player is thinking is way off. Because as a hooper, you're not even computing that. You got so many other things to worry about during the game. I'm not thinking about you and what you said like in the middle of the game. Like what? I'm in a roll. I'm on a roll. I didn't hit 4 straight threes. I'm not thinking about you on my 5th straight 3. Like good or bad, I just missed 5 threes. LeBron thinking about skipping the middle of the game. Oh, I got an impact. No, you don't, bro. Like pre-game and post-game might be the most impact you have. I just feel like it's too many people in that field that just don't understand the sport and like the entities of a hooper. I feel like it's too many of them. Not to say everybody has to be understanding of that, but it's just way too many of them that are having that voice and that big of a voice that are doing it without like I had to say credentials, but like the credibility to be like, you should be saying this, doing this. And I feel like sometimes it gets to be more of a hot button take or more of a hot take. I'm saying this for attention and for entertainment, which we need that sometimes. That's why I like Shannon a little bit because he does some stuff a little wild. He wear a goat mask and had the drinks on and all that stuff and the cigars. That's entertainment. That's cool. But when it comes to you bashing LeBron every single day to get attention, like really, man, like that's what you're doing here. So that's why I just feel like media has more of the negative to it. And he has to tell LeBron down and to bring Jordan up. And you don't have to do that. So that's how I feel like the media has a huge negative impact. And that's why I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah, so I kind of like agree with what you said about like some of their credibility because it's like I didn't play, I'm still playing. So I feel that's what you're talking about with like they make it seem like what they say, what they do on the floor sometimes. And that's like far from the truth. It's like, okay, let me give you an example. So I remember this is my mom now. I was talking to my mom. This way back in high school. I had like 8 points, 3 games straight. Like I had 8 points, a bunch of rebounds, a bunch of blocks, whatever. But I had 8 points, like 3 games in a row. And so I was remember telling my mom about the stats. Like, wait, we just got through playing. I came home that night, whatever. She asked me about the game, told her my stats. Said I had 8 points, and I was like, I said, we didn't really keep averages and stuff in high school like that in my high school, but I was like, I'm pretty much averaging about 8 points now. Like, I feel like I get 8 points a lot. And my mom was like, don't you like, do you want to score more than that? Like, don't you want to score a few more points than 8? And I was like, not that I don't want to score, but like it ain't my role. Like other guys around me scoring the ball, I'm like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I still average double-digit rebounds, had a bunch of like averaged a bunch of blocks that year or whatever. So she was like, but you probably could score more if you wanted to, Nelson. Like that, like you could score more points if you like wanted to and put your mind to it. And I think you should try to do that. Like, score point. And I was like I'm not playing, ball. Like, not like I'm not out there. You feel me? I'm not the scorer for the team. But my mama did not understand that, like basketball. And she was like, well, all right. Nelson, I feel like you could do more. I feel like you could score more. And I wasn't trying to say like I could not score the ball. I was just like, she didn't understand that just was not my role for our team. Like, not the person scoring the majority of our points. Somebody else. That was these other 2 guys on my team. So if my own mama words did not impact the way I played on the floor in high school, what makes you think you being on TV, being somebody these people most likely have never met? I'm pretty sure LeBron ain't never talked to Skip Bayless or whatever. Like, you know, like guys like that. I'm pretty sure Tom Brady ain't never really talked to Shannon Sharp. Man, like their voices not impacting no athlete on the floor or on the field or whatever. They're not thinking about that. They think about what their team need at that time, especially if you had any kind of level of success. You know what it takes to win.
Yeah.
So going into it like, man, Skip said I can't shoot threes, so watch this, 5 threes in the game. Or Skip said I ain't clutch, so we down 1. I'm taking this shot. I don't care what happens. That's not what's going on. We just, as the athlete, you just do what you need to do to win, and you know what that takes. So you go out there and you perform to the best of your ability and do what your team needs you to do. So yeah, I feel you on that part. Like, and nobody's thinking about what they say when it comes to actually playing.
I feel like it comes, like I said before, I think it's more of an impact before and after the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's more before a game, I'm on my phone and I see clips of what you call it said on this show. Dang, I see that. Okay, maybe I should do this more. And I think subconsciously it might impact and stuff. And like when you keep hearing so much stuff, like you scroll through social media and you see so many fans and everything saying certain stuff, that affects you. But like, I don't feel like overall, like I feel like people think that what specific thing this person said on this show is going to impact my game overall. Like you said, Skip Bayless said LeBron's not clutch. He can't shoot in the last minute. You really think he's thinking about that at the last minute? Like you really think he's breaking that down in that play? This man said I can't shoot, so I'm gonna make sure I shoot this shot. LeBron's trying to still calculate the best move for him to make. If it is me shooting the shot, okay, too cool, I'll take it. But if it's hitting Anthony Davis on his lob, or if it's kicking out to Russell Westbrook for his 3 or Melo for his 3, I'm gonna make that play. I'm not keeping Skip Bayless in the back of my mind every single play I make. Now, after the game, I might be like, dang, man, like this Skip still going on me, man. Like, whatever. But I just feel like overall, they feel like it's too much power and authority from what they say. Like, I'm not trying to act like it's just completely oblivious to impact their lives, but I'm not saying here going to the game like, all right, man, hey guys, he said I can't shoot, so make sure catch me, let me get a catch a couple threes today. Like, no, man, like no Hooper's really thinking about that, man. So I feel like they put too much weight into what they say that's going to impact what the game and outcome is. Like that's almost childish to be an extent. Like it's just weird for me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely feel it. So what would you say is like number one, like lie or like myth, I guess you'll say, that you think social media is spread, like when it comes to like sports and athletes or whatever?
The level of
It could be about one person.
I'll say the level of talent that the pros have. I feel like that might be the biggest misconception. Like, I don't think people really realize how good pro players are. Like I think we casually can be like, I think we take a lot of players too casual. And I ain't trying to put nobody on a super high pedestal, but like at the same time, it's like what Steph Curry just did with the threes is crazy. Like the level of effectiveness and efficiency he has with his threes is crazy. Like, I don't think people realize how hard it is to get off the shot Steph Curry gets off. Like, the reason why he's so great because he can go off the dribble and off the catch. Like, nobody's been able to do it at that level. Some of it's because of rules stuff, but at the same time, it's like nobody's doing it at the level he's doing it. For LeBron to be, what's he, 37 now? For him to be 37 and doing that, like, really? His vert hasn't changed at all. I don't think people realize how crazy that is. Like, for Kevin Durant to be 7 foot, he claimed to be 16, but for him to be 7 foot doing what he does is ridiculous. And to even go down to 15 men on the bench, we kind of had this conversation before, but like, I don't think people realize how good role players are, how well they can shoot. Like, it's been told that Shaq has been an excellent free throw shooter in practice. He can rattle off 20 straight in practice. DeAndre Jordan, all these players and stuff. And the game is just different. And I don't think people really understand how good these guys, I think from more of a fan perspective most of the time. I don't think fans sometimes critiquing on social media recognize how great these players really are. From a media standpoint, I don't think people, I don't know. I don't think people in the media understand the psychology of a hooper.
Facts. That's very true.
Yeah, I think it's, like I said before, it's too many non-hoopers commenting on hoop stuff. Like, they get too critical on things when it's like, as a hooper, it's just things that you understand and get. Like, on paper, this makes sense to you. So it's like your non-basketball IQ, this makes sense. But as a hooper, we're over here and this makes perfect sense. Like, why would you do that? It's just what you do. Like, I can't even explain it. It's just what you do. So I'm like, that's
Facts.
probably the biggest thing. What about you?
Um, I'd say when it comes to basketball, I'd say probably 2 myths the media has like spread like wildfire.
Mhm.
One, LeBron James is not clutch. I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like the media has definitely made this big portrayal like LeBron is not clutch. And so what my thing is, if you want to say he's not more clutch than Jordan, cool. Like your opinion, I totally understand. If you want to say he's not more clutch than Kobe, I understand that. But to say he's not clutch, period, that's the end of the sentence. That's why I got the problem. Because I'd be like, what? Like, have you ever seen LeBron James play? Like, his whole montages of clutch baskets this man did hit, like, literally, like, you can YouTube it. It's just like, LeBron is not, I guarantee you ask people in the league, like other players, is LeBron James clutch? Or, like, do you think LeBron is clutch? Or do you worry about LeBron in clutch moments? They say yes. Like, I guarantee you his peers are not saying, oh, Bron ain't clutch. We ain't really got to worry about him taking the last shot. What? And so it's crazy that the media has spread that, mostly in part due to Bayless, obviously, but been saying it for so long. And they show is like one of the biggest sports shows. But I just hate that that's become like the thing. And, it ain't Bron's fault because he's been constantly compared to Mike and Kobe. So anything he does that's not Mike-esque or Kobe-esque, now it's like, he ain't good enough at that. And Mike and Kobe were killers and known for being clutch and taking the last shot. But Bron has also done that. He's just not known for it. Like, that's just not his go-to thing. He's not a killer offensively, like to be trying to score every play like those guys were, or trying to score and kill their matchup all the time like those guys were. He's more of a facilitator. But that's one thing that I feel like the media is really spread. That's definitely a lie. Like, fans out there do not believe that when people say LeBron is not clutch. Matter of fact, if you're in an argument with somebody in real life and they say LeBron James is not clutch, you're going to leave because you ain't going to convince them of nothing if they believe that. And then the number two myth I say is they don't play defense today. Like, people love saying, so folks can score all the points they want to because nobody plays defense. Don't nobody play defense in this era. Like, that is a lie. Like, that is a lie. I can't even tell you like no better than that. Because yes, in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s, they was beating each other up. Like, yeah, knocking each other out there. Cool. That's not basketball. Like, being able to knock somebody out the air is not defense.
Exactly.
Like, and people, especially old head, this is more of an old head way of thinking. But still, have the nerve to be like, defense. And they might used to get pushed out there. Not defense. They got the nerve to say we don't play defense. And so when the Pistons was doing that to Mike, like, you could go back and watch the Bad Boys 30. You could watch the Mike's Last Dance, all that. You can watch all that. The guys that was on the Bad Boys Pistons literally said, gets into the air, it's over. So we got to make sure he don't get into the air. All that means was, like, to break that down, we can't guard him. We'll knock him out there. Like, Mike more athletic than all of us in here. We'll take athleticism out the equation. No layups, no dunks, nothing. He getting everything at the free throw line or he pulling up. He nothing at the rim. So that's it. And so let me tell y'all, if you think Bad Boys Pistons, now granted, respecting them, they did what they had to do to win at the time, and it worked for them. So I ain't blaming them for this. But I'm saying, you believe that was great defense, or if you believe in the 80s they played better defense than they play now, let me take you to a LA Fitness or something, and I'm going to tell the people on my team, don't let you get no layups. Tell them to treat you like Mike and say, hey, no layups, no nothing. Don't let them get in the air. Knock them out. Tell me how you felt about it after the game. Let's go to the gym right now and play one-on-one And I'm gonna tell you, I'm allowed to hand check you. I'm allowed to hand check me. And we're gonna see who wins. It's gonna be like, man, that's not defense because you fouling me. Well, how about that?
Yep. Yep.
So people need to let go of the notion that today's game has no defense. They do. They trying their best to play defense without fouling.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing. And like rules have evolved to the point where they realize, okay, this ain't safe. This ain't fair to the person with the ball if we could just push them and keep them from the going using their forward motion or anything like that. So they try to protect players nowadays and don't let you knock them out the air without consequences. And you're not just going to put your hands on people that's dribbling because you're not as fast as them. Those are the two things. Like, those are huge myths the media has spread. And people really, like, I'm doing my part right now to try to, put them out. But that's just terrible to me that people believe that we don't play defense nowadays and that LeBron James is not clutch. Like, we need to let that go as a people.
I'm going to piggyback on that because it's like, I think the media sometimes they throw certain narratives out there and it just sticks. And a lot of players like Kawhi,
Thanks.
He ain't finna fight whatever you say about him. It's like, whatever you say, all right, cool. You say I'm doing this, cool. I don't care. And then somebody like LeBron will spin a narrative in his favor, but they throw certain narratives out there and it could be completely untrue, but it's going to stick because it was first. Like, it's more of a race to be first rather than to be right. And I feel like that's going to hurt a lot of people long term because now you're jeopardizing my career and my legacy by saying I'm not clutch. When back in Cleveland, before I went to the Heat, I scored 25 straight points in the fourth quarter in overtime and led my team against the Pistons to win that game. But I'm not clutch? Huh? I had game winners against Orlando before they went to the finals. Huh? What? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they watch the game enough for me, man. I think they just watch highlights at the end of the game, or they watch parts of the game, or they just don't understand. I just think that's another thing that I don't think they just understand. And then two, I think they throw certain words out there without the nuance of what that word means specifically. So like clutch. Clutch isn't just taking the last shot or the last shot during the last minute. It's a lot more to it than clutch. Giannis having that block in the finals was a clutch block.
Right.
Chris Bosh grabbing that rebound to kick it out to Ray Allen. That play was clutch before the Ray Allen three. Like, it's things all within the last probably 4 minutes, or when whatever crunch time hits, like usually about the last 4 minutes, depending on how the game's going. So clutch could be 4 minutes, the last 2 minutes, the last minute, but it's clutch within that realm. Each play within it is clutch. So each play builds up to momentum of that last play. There might not be a Ray Allen three if it wasn't for whatever play LeBron made at the 3-minute mark, or whatever play Mario Chalmers made at the 2-minute mark. All within it encompasses clutch. It's not just the last shot, it's defense too. I had to be clutch as a Tony Allen defender to be like, yo, I'm locking you up this play. The last 2 steals I had made it to where we went up 4 points. That was clutch back then. And then we win by 10, but I'm not clutch because I made the last play to extend our lead to 4 points. And then you were never able to catch up. So then we extend that lead. So now we win by 10. But I had to be clutch at the 3-minute mark to get to this point. We win by 10. Like, they don't recognize the little ebbs and flows of that. So, snap, we have 4 minutes left. It's a tight game. I gotta let me tighten up right here. Clutch mode clicks in right there. But at the end of the game, they won by 10. Weren't really clutch. I think little stuff like that they don't understand. So, like, what hustle is. Hustle ain't really losing after the loose ball. It's like little effort here and there. It's not just me only diving after the loose ball. I have to hustle to get to the right position on defense. So you don't see the extra effort of me get around the screen. It's hustle. Me taking the extra dribble to make sure I'm at the right angle is a little bit more hustle. Like, not the best example, but it's little stuff that they don't fully understand. They throw this word out there, what this means, but it's like, is that really what it means in the context of basketball or for this player? No. So I feel like they throw these false narratives out there and certain words and terms to make it stick, but it's like that's not completely true. You're not wrong, but you're definitely not right. That's why I say a lot of stuff. You're not wrong. There's a percentage of truth behind that, but you're not right overall. And that's probably my biggest thing with like media as a whole. Yeah, that was a good question. I like that one.
Yeah, man. So I definitely feel like everything you just said, like they don't understand what everything exactly what they're saying means all the time. Like I you hear the phrase everything all like everything certain players do don't necessarily show up in the box score.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like so a guy might not have had a whole lot of points or nothing like that. Really, a guy might not have had a whole lot of rebounds or steals or blocks, but could be known as a great defender.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like they don't really understand all the time what everything they're saying really encompasses. But so next thing I wanted to ask you was, what is there a player or like what player do you think the media has like done wrong, like lately or ever? Like what player like is there a single player you think like all right the media might like really messed his career up or messed him up at this point in time, whatever?
Isaiah Thomas comes to mind. Melo comes to mind. Kobe, the notion of him being a ball hawk comes to mind. Um, James Harden, like we talked about before, not playing defense, that comes to mind. Um, shoot, like a lot of players are so underrated, and it's because media doesn't really highlight them. I understand you want to drive the LeBrons of the world, the KDs and Stephs. You want to drive the young guys, the Jaws, the Lucas, the Trays, the Zions. But why hasn't Drew Holiday won any awards? I think the
They ain't not big enough.
I think the funniest thing, bro, is when you listen to the media, but then you listen to the players and what they have to say about certain people. Drew Holiday, the media saying, oh, Drew Holiday's a solid defender, this, that, and the third. Talk to the players, oh, he's probably the best. That's my toughest matchup. Dame has said that. KD has said, KD, bro, like he said that he's tough. Like the recognition he doesn't get is crazy. Like they argue to say he's the best defender in the world. But why isn't the media saying that? Like the notion of Kobe being a ball hog, this not, once again, you're not wrong, but you're not completely right. And I've heard Kobe say this, and he's like, man, why? I think Phil Hannon said this. He was like, man, why you like this, man? He's like, man, I'm not finna pass the ball to guys who come in 5 minutes before practice and they just put their shoes on, warm up a little bit, and come out and practice. When I've been in here for an hour, 2 hours, training on my shots and getting my game right, your work ethic is not respectable to me. So I'm not finna respect you and during the game and pass you this ball. It's not a ball hog. Once you see that perspective, it's like, dang, like that puts you in check. You know what I mean? James Harden not
Right.
playing defense is like, it's not true. Now, on the on the outside perimeter, he's not the best defender. Like they're just, he's cool. Like he's not the best. Low post, he can do a lot better job. Like his legs are so strong that you're not just gonna back him down with ease. Like that boy is strong. So the notion of him
Right.
being a bad defender isn't true. It's not completely true. Um, Isaiah Thomas, I think his legacy probably been hurt the most because he said this before. Like I'm the only person in the history that can say I've beat Magic, Bird, and Jordan. I'm the guy. That's me. Why I'm not in that same conversation? Why isn't he talked about more as being one of the best point guards? You know what I mean? Little stuff like that to where he's not getting his just due, and his respect. Um, that's probably the main guys I can think, or the main things I can think. I think Isaiah Thomas probably be number one on my list overall, like as far as history.
Yeah.
That's probably my number one. So what about you?
Um, I'd probably say number one. I'd probably say Steven Jackson. The whole Malice in the Palace thing, and him getting labeled a thug, and like and things of that nature. And then you fit, and if you ever hear him talk about it, he said next year he averaged like, or the year after, like that the Malice in the Palace, or however long it was, he averaged like 20 points and like 6 rebounds a game, and he wasn't even like in the running for making an All-Star game. Like, and his stats were better than some guys who made the All-Star game. And then keep in mind, this is early 2000s where 20 points a game was a lot for one person. Like, when nobody averaging 30 and 29 like they do now a lot of times. Well, maybe like one or two guys, but like the scoring per game was a lot lower. It was spread out through the league. So uh, he one of those guys I definitely put up there because who knows what his career could have been. He was already known as a great defender and he could get a bucket. And so I just feel like the media kind of did him dirty in that aspect. Uh, I'd also say Isaiah Thomas too. I hate that he don't get that respect. I like that. I don't know if you follow Isaiah Thomas on Twitter or if anybody listening, but sometimes he'll throw those things out there like I didn't be Magic, Bird, and Jordan all in the same year, things like that. Like every now and then, it ain't all the time. He ain't just harping on it, but like every now and then he'll throw something out there like that and let people know, like, hey, like I know what your mama told you or what your daddy told you, but today, like, I'm that guy too now. Like, put me in that conversation.
And one of the things about him too is he's won at every level. He won in high school, won in college, won in pro, got gold medals. It's like he's done. He's one of the few people to go back to back. Like his resume's up there with everybody. Like he just not getting the same respect because of the media. I think some of that is part of that Jordan play where it's like they love Jordan so much, and it was Jordan versus him, and it was Bulls versus Pistons. So I think that played a role into it too. But he balled out, bro. Like he's not a loser. I can understand if he was losing and still trying to talk trash, but like he won. He beat them. Like, what more do you want from him?
And he was the best player on those teams. Like they all looked up to him as their leader. He the smallest guy on the team, but he the leader.
Yep.
He full of like bigs and a big dominated league and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that time was definitely up there for me too. And then who else I feel like the media then gave a bad hand? I don't know. I think they both up there. I kind of feel what you said about Kobe. I said the same thing about Melo, but I ain't gonna lie, I kind of feel that way about Melo. Yeah, I feel like that's probably about it for me. Oh, you know who else? Kind of did dirty, and you gonna laugh, but they did your boy kind of dirty. Kwame Brown. For those who don't know, we had an episode in our last season about draft busts and things like that.
Yeah.
In the midst of the whole Kwame Brown, when Kwame Brown was going on those rants and things like that, we was talking about it, and Brian was like one of the few people I'd ever heard defend Kwame Brown, but this, in all fairness, the media did kind of give him a bad hand. So like, yeah, he might not have played well like that. He might have been a bust in my mind, which he still is a bust in my mind. But I do feel like the media has literally made this man the poster boy. NBA bust. It don't help that Charles Barkley, of all people, out here talking about something for every one Kobe Bryant is 50 Kwame Brown. You ever heard that?
I ain't heard that one.
This was back when they were trying to decide if they should let players come out of high school or not. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is when they began changing those rules. And Charles Barkley said, for every one Kobe Bryant, there's 50 Kwame Browns because they both came out of high school. So I feel like that did not help at all. So now we look at Kwame as the NBA bust. Like he is the poster child for it. So
like think about how damaging that is, but you're literally the poster child. Like it's been plenty of other guys that have been bust, like or categorized as a bust, but I'm the face of it. Like you think of NBA bust, you think of Kwame Brown. Like think about that, bro. That's crazy.
It's tough. It's tough. So I feel for him in that aspect. Like I think he was a good player, no, but he did not deserve to be out here 20 years later still getting called like players that come into the league and lottery picks and don't do good. And like, this man ain't nothing but another Kwame Brown. Supposed to be saying that. It is 20 years later. So I kind of feel for him about that. But those my guys that I feel like the media definitely did dirty.
And speaking of Chuck, and you know how he is against social media, how you feel like social media plays an impact on the game today? Because we talked about media like more big market media like TV and everything. How you feel like social media like Twitter and Instagram and now TikTok and stuff play a role on the game?
I do think it plays a big role because I feel like I heard Lou Williams say something about young players putting their name in Twitter to see what people are saying. And I don't really think about that as like normal, like everyday people, like not known, things like that. We're not famous. Mm-hmm. So to be famous, you can literally, or somebody that people talk about often, you can literally put your name in a search bar and just see what random people have said that got your name in. And so when he said that, I had never thought about that before. Just put my name in Twitter. I've never done that, but NBA player could just put their name in Twitter and see what the consensus is about them. Like, what are people saying about me right now? And so when I heard that, that made me realize like social media does have a big impact, because now it's like we always can hear what the world is saying. The majority of people are saying, like, people in the 90s and the early 2000s, they didn't have to worry about that. Like, it was still their business, and whatever people thought, that's just what people thought. They only knew if they watched TV and they talked about them, or they read the newspaper and they was talking about them. But now it's like I can see what Joe that work at Radio Shack think about me. On Twitter, like, one of those things is like, man, we you can really find out how people feel if you really care about that. So I feel like players especially are heavily impacted by it, but guys like on the way out, like in their 30s, they probably ain't so concerned about it no more. Like, they didn't come in with that. But young guys, like, I feel like especially in the future, we're gonna see that social media is like huge impact on players. We're gonna start hearing players in interviews talking about I had to delete social media, or I had to get off Twitter because it was messing with my head, things like that.
That's what happened with LeBron.
Oh yeah, Bron be saying in the playoffs he goes 0 dark 30.
Yeah.
Well, he cut everything off, which I understand, because when LeBron James in the playoffs, that's all you're gonna hear. Like, trending every time he step on the floor in the playoffs. So
even if we ain't in the playoffs, you're still gonna hear about LeBron. Like, that's just crazy.
Exactly. And don't let them be in the finals. Oh my Lord. Because now it's like,
Boy.
That's the sole attention of America.
Yes.
When he's in the finals. So definitely understand. Like, I don't know what that's like. So like, I can't even imagine.
I don't even want to know what that's like, to be honest with you. Like, everybody wants to be famous and stuff, but that's the dark side of people don't talk about, man. Like, you gotta, yeah, you're getting praise, but you might get a lot more heat, or you see a lot more heat than you get praise. Or we tend to focus on the negative than we do the positive. So like, that'll mess with you, man. I don't even want a taste of that level of fame. Like J. Cole said, forget the fame and the fortune. Well, maybe not the fortune. Let me get LeBron James money without the LeBron James attention.
I take that too, but like not to get off track, but like even now, like when I be just walking around, like, people recognize me from basketball. Kind of like, it's cool for a minute, but then I'll be like, man, how that dude know me? Like, I'll be feeling set up or something.
Yeah.
Like, so I can't imagine if folks just always came up to me like, hey man, you so and so from such and such. Like, really, like, hopefully, one day, this blow up and people coming up to me and be like, hey, I listen to the podcast, man. Y'all, you and Brian pretty cool. I'll be happy about that, but at the same time, don't let it happen too much.
Yep.
Be nervous again.
I've been thinking about that a lot too, from my perspective. Like, getting to grow as a trainer and be like, oh, you BeBall Jones? Like, oh man, you this guy? You like, being known for this thing, like whether it's BeBall Jones or Progress on the Go, whatever, it's like, oh snap, that's you. Oh man, like that'll be cool. You know what I mean? Not, of course, it's a little bit ego, but not from an ego sense, but like I'm having an impact on people like that. I'm putting out good quality work, and some people are respecting it. That's more of it. And like you said, on the other end of it, it's like that'll be too much to get that all the time, man. Like, I don't want to sit here every time I go out, I gotta worry about, can I have a normal day? Like, just let me not get interrupted. I'm trying to go out with my girl. I just don't want to deal with, can I get a picture? Can I get a, I don't even know if people do autographs anymore, but can I get an autograph? Like, whatever. Like, I don't want to deal with that every single time I go out. So like, I don't know how to deal with that, man. So kind of getting back on topic. I feel like social media is crazy, bro, because it's kind of going back to what I said before. You can literally know nothing about the game, but you're ripping me up. Like, you are tearing me up, bro. Like, oh, LeBron James sucks. He's this, that, and the third. Oh, Joe Blow from what you call is talking trash about Steve Nash, and he's a terrible coach. He shouldn't be coaching Brooklyn. Oh, Steve Kerr's the worst coach in the Warriors history. It's like so much just crazy stuff that people can say, and like that's 1,000 people on one day, and it's magnified if you're LeBron. It's magnified when you're Jordan and you're Kobe's. Like you get that on a regular, bro. So I just feel like social media can be such a detriment as far as that goes. But even on the younger scale, I feel like it's weird now to where I hate to sound like the old guy, like get off my lawn type guy, but like when we were growing up, we just played basketball and great plays made out of that. Like we just were focused on hooping. We were trying to win the game. Of course, you want to have a couple highlight stuff here and there. Like that's just part of the showmanship of it. But at the end of the day, we trying to hoop. Whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. But I feel like more kids now are doing so much to get the overtime highlight, to get the House of Highlights highlight, to get on Sports Center and Instagram or the top 10 plays. Their intentionally goal is to not play great and have great plays out of that. But my goal is to make sure this one highlight right here is going to be Sports in the top 10 or overtime, Bleacher Report, whatever.
Right.
And I feel like that's probably the biggest. I'd say that's probably the biggest negative impact, besides the mental health point. Like that's probably the biggest negative impact on the game because it's like on your end, like you might give up a good play of you getting good position, or making sure that the Bill Russell rule when you block a shot it stays in bounds. You might put a little extra something. I'm smacking this all the way to the 10th row in the stands. But by doing that, you missed the assignment and now you got a foul. You know what I mean? Like little stuff like that. You like, all right, let me get back in control. But if some kids are going after every single time because I want to make sure you feel me. Like I'm smacking everything. And on mine as a guard, I'm trying to cross everybody up. I'm trying to fillet every layup, jelly every layup without really playing basketball now. So now you're like a clown because you're doing too much. You know what I mean? Like rather than just playing great and having an opportunity to come, it's like, oh snap, like I can just, I can make a little extra flashy pass right here. And I think sometimes they magnify certain plays by players. And you got players going out there just training for that and just trying to do that one instant. And trainers trying to train for that one instant when Kyrie wouldn't even think about doing that move. It just happened. But now all you doing right now when you go outside is trying to train for that move. I got a trainer you paying money for to train for that move that he just did out the blue. So like that's probably the bigger negative end of it, where social media has people. It's supposed to be a highlight, but you're highlighting the highlights on another scale rather than the actual game. Like you're not gonna see the solid bounce pass, the pocket pass that he made to his big to make a solid layup, but you're gonna see that behind the head or behind the back bounce pass that Steph Curry made for the Sports in the top 10. So like that's where the social media negatively affects the game. I don't know. So what about you?
I feel that too, man. I do feel like people put too much emphasis on the highlight plays all the time, like especially young players, guys in high school and stuff like that. They emphasizing the flashy play so much, and it's like, so case in point, like I ain't gonna say no names. I ain't trying to incriminate nobody. Or I don't want no kind of heat, no kind of flack, And please don't come up to me or text me or nothing talking about, oh, who you talking about? I feel like you talking about so and so. But anyway, yeah, I know from around the way, like from around my area, known for trying to make flashy plays. Known, like that's cool. Feel me? Like got great play. You make some good passes, some flashy move across somebody. Cool. He's a pretty good high school player. College, gets scholarship, goes to college. Struggling, can't figure it out. Like he having issues like breaking down a college defense most of the time. Now he realized all them flashy plays ain't working on this level. Like the flashiness, it's not gonna get it done right now. And so like I feel like that might be indicative of what is to come. Like young players gonna realize that at some point, like I mean, I'm not saying that he wasn't good. He's a great player. Like I feel like he got all the potential in the world, all that. I feel like that's gonna be indicative of some guys. It's like I like to make the flash play. I'm trying to get on overtime. I'm trying to get on house highlights. I'm trying to get on clutch and breakdown, whatever. They throwing passes behind their head and no looking everything. It could have just been a regular pass, things like that. People aren't showing in those highlights is the amount of times those no looks went out of bounds. A lot of times them crossovers got ripped, or nice little move, and somebody still sat on it, and it didn't really go nowhere. Like, things like that. So you get to a high level and realize, man, it don't go like that all the time. Like, or the talent is higher and what the IQ is better. It's not gonna go the way you think. It's not gonna go the way it did in high school or whatever level you came from where you were doing that. And so now you're kind of struggling. To prevent you from struggling, I'm telling you now, if you got the ability to make the flash play, cool. Like, I'm not saying don't. I just came from I had a lot of to be like you. I don't want to be like the old get off my line, get off my lawn type guy. But came from a time like, playing for certain coaches, they didn't go for that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Like they did not go for that. Don't play nothing. Don't do nothing outside your game type stuff. Like know who you are. Know what we need you to do. Like sometimes the flash plays will come. Like that happens. Like I was a very methodical player in high school, especially. Like rebound, block shots, score in the paint, get all hustle points, things like that. That was me. But like every now and then, something came along where it like to make a nice play, a flashy play. Even if people don't recognize it all the time, like, oh, you did it. Put that on your highlights. When you make your highlight tape, put it in there. Let people know you got that ability. You know what I'm saying? But that don't need to be the majority of everything you do. Like I got a play in high school where I reached up for a rebound, offensive rebound. But when I jumped, I realized my teammate was beside me. So when I called it, I did this and handed it to him, and he laid it up all in midair. That was to me like the best pass in the world. I was like, yo, like y'all see that? I just made a pass off a rebound. And like I felt like that was something. But like now it's like guys want every play to be that. Don't get stolen a lot of times. So sometimes you gotta come down with the rebound. I hope that that's not indicative of what's going to come like in the future of basketball. Like guys flashy in high school or flashy maybe in, I don't know, junior college, flashy in college period maybe, then go to the pros or go to whatever the next level may be, and then it's not that no more. And then they struggle and like had to take a whole lot of time to adjust. So I just hope that that doesn't like to prevent that. Just play inside of your game, know what you can do, just go from there. But like social media got people thinking, nah, this is the only way I'm gonna get big. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I didn't come up that way or thinking that way, but you know, it's one of them things. I also ain't got no plays on overtime or house of highlights and like that. So, you know, y'all decide what y'all want to do with that information. But you know, I feel like I'm doing all right.
Do you feel like the game, like you said, I hope this is in the future of basketball with the young guys. Like, do you feel like we're gonna get to a point? I think we kind of there with a lot of players now. I think it's always been there, but I think it's getting more now, like more lucrative that the NBA becomes, more money you see in it, the more that you'll have guys who are not in it for the love, they're in it for the money, which I'm not mad about. The NBA is a business. People take jobs every single day that they don't actually like and love, but I want this money. So many people might be an engineer, doctor, lawyer, whatever. I don't love doing this. I like this money, the benefits that come with it. The job is cool. I went to school for it. This is what I did. This, that, and third. Do you feel like it is bad? I kind of answered the question on my end, but like, do you feel like it's bad that players might do some of these things for the money? You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing these things. I want to focus on getting stats. I want all this attention to get to the pros to do it. I think sometimes to get to a point to where it's more about the attention and they're doing it for the highs and stuff. But then I think some people, like, I think like your boy, I don't think he can help like just not making a flashy play. He wants the attention or he wants the stats. He doesn't care about wins and losses. I'm just doing it strictly for this because I see opportunity in this versus you just like you want to play basketball. So this is the right basketball player, I'm making it. But do you think it's going to get to a point where the highlights and the flashy and the stats and stuff, all the attention that comes with it will outweigh the actual basketballness, like especially like on a youth scale? Like, how do you feel like that's going to play out in the future?
So I can answer your question with a story. So I remember when I was in JUCO. Now I love the game of basketball. Always have ever since I picked it up. Love basketball. If basketball paid the wage of a teacher, I'd probably still try to be a basketball player. So the money ain't all I'm into it for. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I remember I was in college and I was sitting around my homeboys. I realized that they all didn't. By this time, this is when I've been here for a minute. I realized that they all did not love basketball, at least not the same amount of that I did. You know, they like basketball, or someone did love it, just not to the extent that I did. So I remember we was all sitting around, and one of them was like, we was talking about if the team get into a fight. That's what we was talking about. Like, who gonna jump in, who gonna fight, you know, if one of us get into a fight, who gonna jump in for the big teammate type stuff. So my guy Vaughn, my point guard at the time, he was like, Nelson not gonna jump in because Nelson trying to go D1. So part of me was offended, like, you don't think I'll fight for y'all? Like, if something really went down, you know, I wouldn't jump in for y'all. Part of me was also like, you got a point, because I would like to go D1. So I understood what he was saying. I told him, like, nah, I would never let nothing happen to y'all or whatever. And then I was, you know, we got more into it, and I was like, thought everybody was gonna be like me when I got here or when I got to junior college. And he was like, what you mean by that? And I said, I thought everybody was gonna love basketball like I did. And he kind of took offense that. He was like, what you mean? You think I don't love basketball? And I said, not that you don't love it, just not the same way that I do. No offense. Like, that's just how I feel. And what I meant by saying that was, I loved it enough that even if, you know, I might not be the star player, which I wasn't, not scoring all the points, which I didn't. And if I ain't get like the most out of it, which I didn't, I don't think, I guess, I don't know. But I just love basketball. I want to be good at it. This is what I want to do. Guys didn't go to the gym, kind of like what Kobe said. They ain't work on their craft. They was showing up 5 minutes for practice type guys. You know what I'm saying? And so nothing wrong with that, because they still did what they needed to, what we as the team needed. Still did their role, their job, whatever. But my thing was, how much better could we have been? They love basketball the way that I did, or how much farther could we have went, or how much farther could they have went individually as players? And so that's my thing. I feel like getting to a point that guys might not feel that way all the time, or like let me say the amount of people that feel that way is getting lower to where they'll work on it just to work on it, not just to get what they want. Like, if you want to make money, great. I want you to make money. I ain't saying that's a bad thing, but I feel like the amount of people playing basketball or sports in general for money and for fame and for fortune is becoming greater than the amount of people that's doing it just because they love it. Type stuff. And so I feel like that is kind of the path in which we own. And like you said, it's a business at the end of the day. I just hope that the guys that feel that way or want just money out of or certain things like that, I hope they don't let it get to them. Like, don't let that become everything. I hope they don't like let that control them. Like, start taking deals they shouldn't take for more money, or be in unhappy situations for money or fame and stuff like that. Like, that's not everything. Like, I still hope you enjoy what you're doing, I guess is what I'm saying. So that's me. And like, maybe I'm the wrong person to ask about it, because like I said, I love basketball and I always have. So I'm the wrong person to ask like about things like that, because I'm always tell you I hope guys love the game, because I do. And like, I play on a team now with a lot of guys that love basketball. So they be in the gym, and our coaches like tell them to be in the gym, and they know who come in here, and they put emphasis on that. And so that increases it. Like, that makes them want to be like, oh, bet, like, coach notices who comes in and out of here, so I'm gonna come. And so that's all I want out of it. Forget what you're doing it for. Like, work for that. Like, even if it's just money, cool, but don't let that be everything. Know what you're really doing it for. So that's my take on it. I hope that, like, in the future, I don't have to look back and be like, oh, all these guys out here just trying to throw up threes from half court, trying to get the next big Steph Curry deal or whatever. I hope that's not what we end up going. But
like,
I hope people still love basketball 20 years from now.
I feel like it's gonna get to. I feel like this is everything, like not just basketball, but life in general, man. The people that are very successful in different fields, it's hard to get there just for money. You know what I mean? Like the greats that we all love and adore, they're not there for money. Like, it's really hard, because once you get that money, you're satisfied. Like, that itch, that motivation, that hunger is gone. So that's why I see a lot of guys get to the NBA, and once they get that big, not the rookie contract, but the big contract, they're done. Like once he got his money, he's done. Like I've done what I wanted to do. I've reached my pinnacle of what I wanted. I wanted the $84 million deal for 3 years. I got it. I don't really have to work that hard no more. That's why some people who are quote unquote bust, they're just not working hard because I made millions of dollars right now in one night. I've worked 19, 20, 22 years of my life to get to this point to where now I'm a millionaire. Like I don't have to worry about nothing for the rest of my life right now if I treat this money right. But I feel like the Kobe's, the Jordans, the LeBrons, Steph's, Clay's, like the legends that we talk about, they're not there because of money. Like most of these dudes will hoop for free. If the NBA said, "Hey, we cannot pay you your salary this year, but once you got to hoop, you got like, or you can't pay your salary, we got to go hoop." All right, cool. I guarantee you'll see most of these guys still in the gym somewhere. Like during the lockout season, how many guys you saw KD put up at Rucker Park? Kobe went to Rucker Park. They go to some camp or some court somewhere, they're hooping. Like they just love hooping. That's just who they are. They're not there for money. So it's like I feel like the greats, the ones that we all love and adore, those are the guys that are the most successful. But not to say, like, don't get me wrong. Them guys be like, hey, I want my, that's why they fight for contracts. That's why you see holdouts. That's why you see buyouts and stuff. Because I want to play, but I want my money too. Like, you're not just finna cheat me on
I
my money.
want what I'm worth.
I want what I'm worth. So if I'm worth 100 mil, run me my 100 mil. Like, that's it. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and take 5 mil when I'm worth 100. Like, what? No, give me all my money. Like, but I'm still gonna ball here and hoop too. You know, so that's why I feel like I'm not too worried about it because the greats will, like, the test
separate
of
themselves.
Yeah, they'll separate themselves. Like the test of how bad do you want this will make and break whoever is built for it. So yeah, you might have loved the game in middle school, but high school ball totally different, bro. You got to work out a little bit. Like you said, I was able to be flashing all this stuff in middle school, not gonna work in high school. Okay, I got it in high school, but can you play varsity? Okay, you got it in varsity, can you make it in college? Playing at this level, can you do it at this level? Okay, now you're doing this level, can you do it at pro? And it'll separate themselves. So I'm not too worried about it because at the end of the day, you still got OGs and old heads laying down the law where it's like, hey, we ain't doing that. That's not how we fly. Yeah, that's cute. You know, that worked in high school, that worked in college, but it's a new level. We ain't doing that here. Like you right now, you got freshmen coming in. It's like, yo, no, that's not it.
Whew.
You laying down the
Boy,
law.
you said, boy, you said so there. That's real. You gotta tell guys like, hey, what you used to do.
Yep.
At your high school or whatever. Ain't going.
So I just feel like that's gonna be a separator that one, we still have OGs and everything laying down the law, but then at the same time, too, the game will separate who should be there and who shouldn't be there. So all the little social media tricks you was doing before, all this little stuff that you did to get attention, cool. That's lovely. That's it's cute at the end of the day. You feel me? Like, can you actually play basketball? Can you produce wins over losses? You scoring 20 points, but is that impacting 20 points or is that just a fluffy 20 points? You might have had 4 points at the first half, but it's a blowout. The last 16 points came at the scrub time. You know, it's like, was that really 20 points? Was it a real 20 points? Oh, you might average 20, but half your points always come leaking out. You snowbird half the time. Are those really 20 points? You only got real 10 buckets this game, bro.
It's levels.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's the details and nuances of the game separate themselves. But media hypes up, going back to the beginning part, media hypes up certain stuff. And it's like, let's really break down this man scoring 30 points. Okay. He snowbirded half of those. And some of those came from free. That's what James Harden got a lot of hate from. All these points came from free throws. But it's hard for you to average 20 attempts a game, bro. Like, that's tough.
That is true.
That's an art to it, bro. Like, I'm not trying to take up for him, but I'm taking up for him. Like, to put up 20, and I'm exaggerating when I say 20, but to put up that many free throw attempts in a game, it's tough. Night in, night out. Like, I'm doing something right if I'm averaging this many free throw attempts. Like, the rest ain't just be like, oh, James Harden, give him the call. No, I put in work to it. You have to foul me now. Like, but I digress. But I just feel like at the end of the day, yeah, social media might have a certain highlight to where dudes want to do it for attention, do it for money and stuff. But I feel like at the end of the day, the cream of the crop will rise because they love the game that much. So I just feel like that's the separator between things. Like, yeah, you're doing it for media, but I'm out here doing it because I love the game. And at the end of this day, at the end of this war, we're gonna see who come out on top. That's gonna be separated from me, in my opinion.
Facts. And like this ain't no shots at nobody, but like separation has been made between me and a lot of people, depending on our work ethic and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And like it's just one of them things. Like the real the cream of the crop gonna rise. And that's not to say I'm better than nobody. It's plenty of people in this world. I swear to God, it's plenty of people in this world that I admit I feel like was way better than me or should have been way better than me. But at the end of the day, they just didn't want it like that, or they didn't go after it the same way that I did. So that's just what it ended up being. So that's just how I feel about it. You know, that certain guys content with how things turned out. Some guys, you know, you see them at the barbershop or whatever. Like, man, back in high school, I used to do this. A lot of times, unless they're in the bar and they got injured or something, a lot of times they ain't want it. They ain't want it like they say they did. Or they want it now because they realize what they had and they folded it. They fumbled it. So it's just one of those things. Like, you see at the end of the day who on top and who not, and who really worked for it and who didn't. So, my assistant coach, Coach Butler, say all the time, like, it's a game, it's a solution for not knowing. Because when we practice, a lot of times before the season starts, guys might not play defense. Some guys might not know the rotations, things like that. But in practice, your team is your team. Like, you got nobody to put in for him. But when they messing up too much, he say, "Don't worry, game, it's a solution for that." And we know what the solution is. So, and right now we can't fix it. We just work on it. But in the real game, solution for not playing defense or not playing hard or not knowing the rotation. So, in the same token, there's a solution for not wanting it more than the next guy. Y'all do with that information what y'all will.
I like that. Yeah. So, last thing I kind of want to talk about. I don't know what else you got, but one last thing I kind of want to talk about is more of the positive effect of, you can go media and social media, but I feel like for me, on the other end of it, I think it gives a spotlight or an opportunity for certain people to get put on that normally wouldn't get that chance to get put on. So you have somebody that's coming from a smaller school who has an opportunity to shine and get more attention because of the highlights and stuff. So like you said before, if you might have a crazy play, but nobody really noticed it during the moment, put on your highlight tape. So now because you have this highlight tape, I can market it and push it myself and get in front of people's eyes. And that gives me attention recognition that I need to have. And that can be a blessing for some people because you're going from possibly not playing college ball at all or playing at D3 level where you got to pay for school to now you have an opportunity to go to D2, D1 off a full ride. Like, that's a blessing, bro. So certain situations that can be a very big thing for them, to get the positive attention to it. And then on the larger scale, I feel like the positive aspect of it is you do have certain journalists and reporters who respect the game and have a certain nuance of the game to where players trust them. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorites that I watch a lot is Taylor Rooks. I love her, man. Like, she's one of my favorites because she understands the game. I feel like Zach Lowe, he understands the game a lot. Roz Golden Woode, I think she's pretty cool. I don't know how to exactly pronounce her name, but she's pretty cool at what she do. Like, there are a lot of, like, I think I feel Doris Burke. I feel like Doris Burke is the GOAT commentator, bro. Like, there are a few people who are on her level to where she educates the game very well. She speaks on a high level, and she's also entertaining. And that's a hard thing to blend all through. There's a lot of coaches and players who come on and talk the game, and it makes sense, but you're boring to listen to. I'm not. If somebody comes to me, I'll tell you off the air. I ain't trying to get shot, but he knows the game. He knows the game very well, but sometimes it's a little dated, in my opinion. And he's not the most entertaining to always listen to. And I respect him a lot because he's a credible guy. He knows what he's talking about too, so I can't really say too much. But it's like I just don't love listening to the games where he's talking about it. You know what I mean? So it's tough to say that, but I respect him. I think he's dope at what he does, but it's just like it's not the most entertaining. So I think Doris Burke has a good blend of educating, entertaining, and informing, because that's what the position is supposed to be. You're color commentating on this game, inform people who don't understand what's going on, educate us, like inform us as far as tell us what's going on in that time and moment. Educate us so we can understand that we're being taught, and entertain us, because at the end of the day, this is a game, this is entertainment, this is media. And I feel like the right people being there gives the players comfort to bring the real them out. So now, because you have a dope platform and you're dope at what you do, I don't mind coming to talk to you. So now I'm able to get my thoughts and message out through you when I didn't want to do it myself. It's like a Kawhi. He's not finna post anything, but because I trust you and I like you, I might do a sit down article with you. I might do an interview with you. You know what I mean? So now we have better access, and the players have more access to the fans to get their true narrative out. So like those are two positive ends of media, to where you get positive attention on players who might not have that attention, get recognition because I'm at a certain level, I'm at a certain place or whatever. And the players get a chance to have the good news or the story spent the right way, the correct way. It might not be the most PC thing, but this is actually what happened in this locker room. You're saying we actually fought. We didn't actually fight. Oh, that's another big thing. When they say players fight in the locker room, it's like, oh, is the locker room tearing down? Is this one? Bro, if we really told you how many times certain teams fought, you'd be like, oh my goodness, they fight that often? Like, it's basketball, bro. You have a whole bunch of men with pride and egos going head to head. We're going to fight. We're going to have an issue. We're going to have pushing, shoving, all that stuff. But it doesn't mean I hate this dude. It's my brother. That's my teammate. Like, it's not that deep. And so now players like that will get a chance to be like, yeah, we fought, but we went out to dinner after that. Oh, yeah, we fought. I went outside from the house and we played 2K after that. Like, it's not that deep.
They really
It's
be like that too.
For real, like people don't understand. Like, yeah, that's my boy. Like, we good. Like, yeah, it happened. We fought, but it wasn't a blood. Yeah, it wasn't a fatal. It wasn't no blood drawn match. Like, it's not that deep. So I feel like players get a chance to clear their names and bring the actual truth to light. And on a smaller scale, players get recognition and attention that they usually wouldn't have. So that's my positive side of what the media has. So what about you?
Media definitely can have a positive impact. They can put the positive light on certain things and get guys, the recognition they deserve, things like that. And things like the media help certain guys become all-stars and things like that when we talk about the NBA, and get certain awards like the Sportsmanship Award and things like that the NBA has. That guy, I mean, people don't really talk about it a whole lot, but it gives them recognition in certain ways, so that they do deserve. So I definitely think they have a positive impact. Like you said, like when the right people are telling the stories, or when the right people are talking about the game, it can be informative and they can help push like the game forward. So it definitely has a positive impact in its own way. So one day that we have a positive impact on basketball and things like that. And so like
we are meeting. I just thought about that.
Yeah, we part of the media now, my boy. Like, and what we doing now?
That's
we
weird.
Part of the media. I know, but we here now, so we definitely are part of the media. And so another positive impact I feel like social media has on the other tip is that a lot of times, like we say we can hear a bunch of people's no nonsense opinions on certain things that might never play basketball day in their life and stuff like that, whatever. But sometimes you have those certain people. It's certain people in pages out there that are like fight with the media is like what the media is pushing or the propaganda. Like it's certain pages out there that be like you ever seen Freezing Cold Takes? That page, that social media page. It's a social media page. It's a social media page called Freezing Cold Takes. So like when people like make or predictions of certain things and they completely wrong, they go back and find those post them. I feel like I just now saw it like a few months ago, but I feel like they necessary. Like,
We need that.
shit, like, yeah, we need that. Like, make sure people are held accountable for what they said, because certain people just always believe like I mean, one was when Tom Brady and the Buccaneers were playing the Saints, and Tom Brady had the ball for the last drive of the game, down a touchdown or whatever. Some guy in the media and the NFL media was like, "You know what's about to happen next?" Or they posted a pic. No, there's a picture of Tom on the sideline, and he like kind of looked upset or whatever. Like he had like a little angry face or whatever. And he was like, oh, "We know what happens. We know what's going to happen now or after this or whatever." And the next drive, Tom Brady threw a pick, sold the game. And Nicole Tate politely went and found that post and reposted it. Like, yeah, you said that. I feel like that's necessary now. Like, we got to keep
Need that.
people in check.
Yeah.
Yeah, like make sure people know they make crazy statements or assumptions. Like that wasn't like a crazy statement. He just really believed in Tom Brady. But like sometimes they be crazy statements. Like, and sometimes they be months old, years old, and they keep them. Like I don't know who running it, but they doing the world a service. Cause like sometimes it'll be like when LeBron when they traded for Anthony Davis and stuff like that. They won championship. It was one where it was like, wait for Anthony Davis to get injured or something like that. LeBron to fold under pressure, and then everybody blame Anthony Davis. That was something. I'm paraphrasing obviously, but you get the gist of what they were trying to say. Won the championship. Reason Tate politely went and reposted that from the beginning of the season, when they made that trade. And I'm like, yeah. So the media definitely has its place in the world. It definitely helps. Definitely shines a positive light on certain things. And, we as the people have the power to do our own research, things that might be false. But, some people don't feel like putting that energy into it. So like, we have to take our own responsibility into account also. So, like you said, it has its place and to inform and to entertain and to keep certain people in check. So I'm good with it. Like I feel like it is necessary to a certain extent. So it ain't going nowhere, even if it wasn't. It ain't going nowhere.
I really like that, man. Like I forgot who said it, but like they were like, we need to hold a lot of these people on TV more accountable. Like, it was a player or a former player. It was like, because think about it, man. Like we're held to a certain standard where, as a player, we're held to a certain standard as a player to where we have certain expectations. If LeBron didn't come out and average 25 plus a game or whatever, win championships, what LeBron would happen? What are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? So as a journalist, reporter, whatever, you taking these crazy takes. You're saying this, that, and the third. Well, let's hold you accountable. Hey, what happened to the prediction? You said your job is to predict the game. What happened? What? I thought you said LeBron's not clutch, but according to my calculations, he's hit 9 of the 15 last game winning or game tying shots he's had. His plus or minus in the last 4 minutes is higher than any other time in the game. What happened? I thought you said he wasn't clutch. I thought he wasn't a good defender, but why is his plus minus on defense the best on the team when he's on the floor? Like stuff like that. We got to hold them accountable. And like, if you're going to, like, I said stuff about Giannis and the Bucks. I came back on here and I had to eat that.
Yeah.
They not finna win. I don't trust the Bucks. And what happened? Giannis, Finals MVP, won that mug. Hey, you was right, bro. You won, Nelson. Hey, I gave you the whole episode, bro. Hey, I ain't got nothing to say, bro. Hey, you won, bro. I had to eat that. But why don't we get that on a Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp level? Hey, right. I mean, between each other, they'll have that. But like, no, you said this about this play. Why is Melo talked about being out? You said he sucks? He can't be in the league? 3 years later, he's still in the game now. Very effective player. Like, oh, okay. Let's get that back out now. Let's run this article back that you said about him. So I feel like we do need to hold him accountable more. But I like that page. I gotta find that one and follow it. So
yeah, you should, bro. It's cool. It's funny.
Yeah, I need that, bro. I need them laughs. So but let's wrap it up, man. I feel like we did a solid job of covering the impact of media and social media, man. Anything else you gotta add?
Don't be out here doing everything for social media, guys. Like, social media isn't everything, and you don't know those people.
Yeah.
And like the people you're trying to oppress, you die tomorrow, they wouldn't post you on their page. So like, don't let everything be about what other people think or say. Just just hoop. Just do you. Just hoop. Just do what you do.
Close us out, bro. I ain't got nothing else.
All right, cool, bro. I do the outros.
Yeah, man. I got 5.
I 5 on the outros, man.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Thank y'all for listening to another one, another installment of the BeBall Jones podcast. Be sure to follow Brian on all his social medias at BeBall Jones, that's BeBall Jones on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at NellyH34 and Nell Fasting on Facebook. We just try to keep the conversation going and things of that nature. And be sure to like and subscribe and share. Let your friends know. Tell your friend to tell a friend. And, season 2, man. We on our second season. I don't know. I thought. I know you thought, but I don't know how many people out there thought that we'd be doing a second season of the BeBall Jones podcast. But here we are. Feels good. Still rolling. So we appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure y'all tune in next week, and we out.